Okay, so here we are again this morning. It's the next day, and um, I'm back with some tips and tricks to make your piano practice with your child more enjoyable. All right, so just to review, we've talked about my expectations, and that is that you will bring your child to lessons on time, like as in 5 minutes early, so that they can be ready for their lesson in a timely manner, and also that they get the most benefit of their lesson. Try to have them go to the bathroom before they come. It really helps. They don't have to do that when they're here. They probably should wash their hands, especially if they're coming from school. I will have things here this year to wash their hands again, and not quite the same as we have been doing, but it will suffice. And then, make sure they have their books. Make sure then also that they're practicing. So now the thing is, and I've told you this, I only see them for a half an hour a day. You cannot put it all on me to keep it fun. I do the fun lesson. That's my part. That's all I can do. The rest of it is kind of up to you as a parent. How can you make this work? How can you be involved? Give them a little independence, but also be involved. Keep an eye on them. Make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And also that they're happy, that they're enjoying it. And that joy doesn't come from me. That joy comes from actually practicing and feeling successful and getting somewhere and coming to their lesson and hearing me say, wow, that's amazing. You were able to do that this week. And they get that feedback and they're excited and happy to hear that. I think most kids that come in to see me want to please me. And that's, to me, that's a big honor, that they really want to please me. And the way they want to please me is to do well. So if they're not getting the support at home and they're not getting the practice done, they're going to come in feeling kind of, right? So they're starting out their lesson that way, feeling, So I've got a kid sitting in front of me feeling, she's going to be mad. I'm sure she's going to yell at me because I didn't practice. And they're feeling that inside. They may not show it, but they're feeling that. And then I know what's gone on. It's nothing in the week, right? They haven't done anything. And I have to find a way to be encouraging and find a good thing and not tear them down and try to help them do it on their own without their parent, which is sad, right? It's really sad because then I've lost my partner too. I've lost you. You're no longer my partner because you're not helping them at home. And by helping, I mean, don't do it for them. Don't write note names in. Don't write notes on the piano keys. Don't write letter names on the piano keys. Don't write the note names in their books or finger numbers. Oh, no finger numbers, please. It's bad enough for these kids that get attached to fingers and finger numbers in particular. So we don't do that, but we can support them in other ways. We've talked about that, pointing notes out, encouraging them to get there. And now we want to give them some incentives. So you just need to give in to the idea that you're going to be involved in this. You're going to be part of this. And as soon as you accept that for yourself, that you're going to have to be a part of this for your child to be successful, and you become okay with that, then you're on your way to a whole lot more enjoyable experience. Right? As soon as we give in to the fact of something, we acknowledge it and we accept it, that this is going to be my job, then it becomes easier to actually do it. If we're fighting it all the time, then of course it's not going to be fun for you or your child. So you're going to have to accept also that at times your child will not want to practice. They're just not going to want to do it. It's normal. You just have to maintain your cool. And you have to deal with it as you would with brushing your teeth. You keep it matter of fact, it has to be done. Nope, I'm paying for lessons. I want you to have this. This is something that I think you will enjoy. Let's just go sit and we'll go through your songs twice. Once they've done it twice, you can encourage them to do their songs more. They can go back and do it 2 more times maybe, each of their songs. And then you can explain to them, look, see, it didn't take that long. It wasn't that difficult. It was fun. We did you can do something fun with them. Okay. A note to parents who actually know how to play the piano. Okay, you're a really good asset to me, but you can also be my worst enemy. And one of the things that parents sometimes do, meaning well, is to play the songs for their kids. And then their kids never learn to read because they hear them and they imitate that song, that sound, right? So they never learn to do it on their own. So the best way to support them is to not play for them. I don't play for them. I play for them sometimes. When they've got everything but it doesn't sound musical, then I play for them. Okay? And that's okay. When they've got everything and they can read the notes and we are sure that they're knowing how to read, then that's great. Don't write the note names on their music and don't label the keys. Okay? You're not doing them any favors. Okay. So, now about practice. So once you have established a few practice sessions, so your child is just coming to lessons for the first time, they're quite excited, and they're going to practice. They will want to go and do it. Most kids, I would say probably 80-90% of them, will go home and they will do the practice. Some won't. They have no idea what to do. And others will just like take it right on, and they won't know what to do for practice either, but they're going to play the piano. Yeah, you're going to play the piano. Yay. And that's fun, and that's great. Except for one thing. It's sort of a honeymoon period. They're happy with that. But they're not going to keep doing that, generally. Some will. There will be a very small majority who will keep going. You need to insert yourself. You still need to insert yourself in that. Even when they're playing. You need to set up that regular time to practice and say, that's fine, I know you went and played your songs today. Okay, I heard you. But I would like to sit with you. And we're going to sit with you for, you don't have to make it long if they've been already playing, 10 minutes. And we're going to play each of your songs through. You know, if you've heard them play their song like 3 or 4 times, that's great. You can say, we'll play each song 2 times, right? You give them some structure to it. And you read their notebook, make sure they've done everything that they were asked to do, okay? That's sort of one of the main things I would say. Then once you've done some of those and your child's feeling successful, you're going to find that it's when they start to say things like, and you say, okay, the worst mistake a parent can do, sorry, is to say, did you do your practicing today? You get home from work and you say, and maybe they were home ahead of you, and you say, did you do your practicing today? They're 6, 7 years old. Why would you trust what they're going to tell you? I would never trust them. I don't even give them that opportunity to lie to me about that. I just say, let's go do your practicing. It's such and such a time. It's time for practicing. We've slotted 6 o'clock or 5:30 that we're going to do the practicing. Let's go do your practicing. And they might say, well, I already did it. Oh, yeah, that's really good. I'm glad you went to the piano on your own, but we're going to go through your stuff anyway. Together, I want to make sure that you've done everything the way Mary has asked you to do it. And you just insert yourself in it. That's what you do. You make sure they've actually done it. Because a lot of kids will say, yeah, I did my practicing. Not really. They kind of skimmed over stuff. That's their idea of practicing. They didn't really do what they were asked to do. So it's going to get them into this routine. What we're really focusing on is a routine. Okay? So at some point, practice will feel like a bit of a chore, even for you. Okay? And repetitions, as you know, are boring. that's, just face it. If I have to play the same thing 5 times in a row, I get bored. And I know that very well by trying to learn the fiddle and practicing that, and it's new to me. And the repetitions are boring. Okay? They're just plain boring. Even I need some sort of incentive or some way to track them because I forget how many times I've done it. It feels like I've done it like 100 times and I've done it 3. You know, it's just the way it is. So what do? When you start lessons, I give you a practice kit. And I started this through the pandemic of giving a practice kit because we were online and I found that the kids just didn't have resources at home. A lot of them didn't even have a pencil. What's that all about? I guess we homeschool, so I have like a ton of pencils. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to give them a pencil case. And in that pencil case, there are going to be some things. What do I want in that pencil case? Well, pencil. Obvious, right? And an eraser. A good one. So I take these and I cut them up into, I don't know, 3 or 4. And they get an eraser. Sometimes they get 2. Easy to lose them. Okay? Sometimes they get a nice little ruler, especially the older ones. Okay? They also get these lovely things. So they get a set of like 8 or 12 colors. They don't need, I divide these 24 into 2, so I give them out that way. They get Post-its. So because I will talk about this again, the coloring pencils, they're used for their workbooks. They are used for coloring in their music, sections that are the same. You know, if they notice 3 or 4 bars that are exactly the same, and they see them somewhere else like that, they can color in the middle the same color, and it helps them. It helps them see the pattern in music. Okay, so that some of them get a little, you know, sharpener. They get Post-its. Now, Post-its, you will find Post-its all over the music, and the music that has the Post-its, that's the music that they are assigned for the week. It's very important that they know themselves, just in case you aren't there and they want to practice, they know which songs they're assigned. And we do try to move it along, but whenever they were online, they didn't have anything to mark. Their Post-its were wearing out, as they do when you move them from piece to piece. And they needed new ones. So this allows them to have this at home just in case we need them. And they should only be used for piano. I shouldn't actually have to renew them too much now that we're not in a pandemic anymore. I also get flashcards. And you will see there's no excuse on the back. There are the names. And I do give instructions on how to use these. This is very important that you practice with them. And I give instructions in their book on how to use the flashcards when we need to use the flashcards. Okay? What else might you find? Ooh, paper clips. Beautiful different colors of paper clips. They might have these cute little erasers. Okay? They might have, if I can find them, I like to get these little animals, you know? You say like, what? What's that for? Right? Yep, little animals. They might have, and I don't have them with me, but you know the little pencil erasers that go on the end of a pencil? They come in so many colors, so they might have 5 of those. So they would be having 5 little animals, they might have 5 little erasers, whatever. Okay, and some of your older ones, if they start, they will get this thing called the Tiny Practice Handbook. Quite a useful little thing, I think, but something I made up. So, how do we use these things? I think most of this stuff is, you know, it's self-explanatory. You know how to use a pencil, blah, blah, blah. They can circle a note. They can put a question mark. They can write, Mary, I don't understand, whatever, if they're able to write. But we're talking about practice and how to make it fun. And so I've given you some tools. We have, first of all, paper clips, okay? And you might find that I've stuck paper clips on their music, okay, on the page, the top of their page. Sort of like, you know, this. There's like 5 of them stuck to the top of their page in a row like this, okay? And so this we use as counters for the number of times that you play your piece, okay? We'll put 5 on. Usually I try to get 5 entirely different colors, okay? So they play the piece once and they can move it over just a little. They play it twice and they move it over again. And when they look at it, they go, oh, I know I played that twice now. I have to do more. Ugh. Move it over again for the third practice. And then they go, okay, well, I want to do a different song now. That's fine. I'll just leave that there. And then they go through and they do all their songs like that. And when they come back, they can move. Play it again and move it. Play it again and move it. This is very simple, easy. It really helps them keep track. Okay. The little animals, they're so cute. And erasers. These we use in the same way. Okay. Little animals we put at the end of the piano. So you would put 5 of them at the end of the piano. Or if you're doing 3 repeats, you put 3. Usually you can keep track of them. So 3 at the end of the piano. I play it once and I move it to the other end of the piano, or I put it on the bench, or I just take them away, put them on top of the piano, whatever. Play it again. Again, this is just a way of counting. So as you move them, then it's kind of fun because they're just little animals, right? And they can do like do, 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 down the piano on the keys and pop them at the other end of the piano. Little kids are cute. They make their own little fun, right? They like that. So you can use anything that is small. You can go to the dollar store if you want, and I provide some, but you can find other things. Look through their toys. Little Lego men, anything that is small but doesn't go through the keys. We do not want things to slide through the keys and wreck your keyboard. So those are things that work well. One of my favorites, and I use this with my own children a lot, was check marks. So you can use your Post-its for this, and you put a Post-it on each song at the top of the page. And the goal, of course, is to practice 5 times in the week. So you make 5 big check marks on the Post-it. Okay, these are just to mark the days of the week that you're practicing. So you go in on Monday, and this is just for one song. So you would do this for each song. So you go in on Monday, and you go, okay, played my song once, and they keep their pencil at hand, and they put a little mark. Played it twice. Played it 3 times. Go to the next song, do the same thing. Maybe they'll do 4 times. Maybe by the time they get to 4 times, they go like, I don't want to do it again. I get like that. That's okay. Our optimum is 5, so if they do between 3 and 5, they're going to do well. Okay? It's fine. It gives them a little bit of control when they say, oh, I don't want to do 5, I want to do 4. Or today I just want to do 3. So then the next day they come in, okay? And this is at the top of the page, and they go, okay, well, I'm going to do, they did 1, they did 2, they did 3. Done. The next day we go in, maybe things start out, and they're not all that great. And you say, okay, well, look at your other days. You only did 4 and you only did 3, so you're kind of missing 1 here and 2 here. What if we did an extra 1 here? We did 5 and we did an extra 1. So they kind of hum and haw, and yep, we can do that. But they like to see this. It's amazing. They really like to see this because this tracks their work and gives them the feedback, oh, I've done it. The next day you get visitors. It's crazy. And, you know, it happens. Life happens. And practice didn't happen. So then the following day you go in and you go to do it and you realize tomorrow's my lesson. I got 2 check marks left. Oops. Okay, well, I haven't really done that great with my practice in some ways. You know, I only did 3 here, I only did 4 here, but I did an extra one, so that makes up for this. So it's not that bad. I'm missing 2, plus all the 5 from here. So just continue on. Maybe they do 5 that particular day because they say, I need to kind of catch up, but I'll do 5. So let's say this comes in to me, and I see this at the top of the page. What am I going to say to them? What do you think? Would I berate them about missing a day? You know, I wouldn't. Okay. My comment is going to be, wow, you got 4 days done. That's good stuff. And you practiced a lot. Look at how many times you did it this day. Well, I was making up for stuff. Yes, and you got your 5 in this day. Let's hear your song. I'm so excited to hear it. Because they're gonna, that's the way they're gonna track themselves. And sometimes they'll get in and they'll only have 2 done. They've got 3 days left, and then you see there's 2 missing. And I'll say, oh, you only got 3 days in? Was it a tough week this week? What went on? What held you back? Right? Mom wasn't around. Oh, but you do know that you could go and play your songs by yourself now, since you know how to do this. You could play your songs, and then you can show your mom that you have played these songs, but don't lie about it. Lying's not good. All right, so we always talk about honesty in this. I don't want parents doing this and just making it look like, oh, my kid practiced and Mary will be happy. I always know, okay? I've been doing this a long time, and I always know if they've been practicing. It's just very, very apparent. You can't pull the wool over my eyes. I just know. I know when a kid is struggling, usually why. Okay? You either have a learning disability that I'm unaware of, and if your child does have something like that, you should let me know. It's not that I'm an expert in everything, but, you know, I could help you out a little bit, right? It would help me to know that they have a hard time understanding things in a certain way. So I have one child that's autistic. Yep, that's fine. And I have learned how to cope with the way she is, right? It's fine. It's great. And sometimes I ask, Mom, so I noticed this, and how do you cope with that? And that is great, right? Because I'm learning, they're learning. It's great. All right. So the last one is Candy Day. Yeah, candy. I do like candy myself, a little candy fiend. But candy is very rewarding in small amounts. So things like raisins, if you don't have candy on hand, raisins, chocolate chips, Smarties, M&Ms, you know, and you can go into the bulk barn and you can get a bag for not a lot, and it'll last you a long time, of maybe their favorite candy. They can pick it out, and just small candy. Try not to get sugary stuff, because sugary stuff gets on the keys. This is what I've noticed. So what we do is we use it the same way we use these guys, only when the candy disappears, it goes in the mouth. It's really fun. And I remember Evelyn coming to me, and she was practicing pretty heavily in her, I think, grade 8 or grade 9 violin. And she said, Mom, I have a section. Do you mind if I steal some of the candy for the students? Can you, just so I can, like, practice, I have to do this like 10 times. I need to do it 10 times, and I need a way of keeping track, and I'm just so bored, and I'm fed up, and can I have some candy? I said, sure. She's a little older, but she was very happy to take her 10 little M&Ms or whatever and put them on the piano, and just it's just something sweet sits in your mouth while you're playing the next, and it's kind of fun. And maybe I wouldn't use it all the time, but for the occasional time, just today we're gonna make a candy day, and the kid goes, "What? Candy? Yay!" All right, all right. So there are other things you can do to get them to practice, to encourage them to practice. This one is a little more, it takes a little more maintenance, but you can set up a chart on your fridge. And if they practice the way you want them to, and you're using all the little tools that I've just given you, if they practice the way you want them to, you can put a sticker on the chart. And if they earn, say, you can set it up the way you want. But I would recommend earning maybe 10 stickers, and that's 2 weeks practice. Then they get a treat of some kind, a dollar store treat, or it doesn't have to be candy. It could be a special activity. Say they love video games, and you don't let them play video games except on the rare occasion. They could earn an hour of video game or a movie, having a friend over. It doesn't have to cost you money, but it could. You can go to Dairy Queen for a special treat. And I would save that for when things are really tough and you're really like, can't get them to do this. Then you can maybe use that for a time. And it's something that works for a season. It doesn't work for a long-term solution, but it's something that you can do once in a while, and maybe they will even come up with ideas of things that they would like to have. And it might be crazy, like, oh, if I do 10, can I get a new bike? No. Okay. Another thing you can do to encourage them is say, oh, let's work on this song so that we can video it, and I can send it to Mary and she can put it up on the Facebook page. Right? That would be a thing. Or I can put it on, I can send it to Grandma and Grandpa who live like 100 miles away, whatever, and they can see you playing. That would be fun. You can create an audience for them of their stuffies. So you can have teddy bears or whatever. You can have them prep a concert. Okay, so if you have 2 or 3 children in lessons, you can have them prep a concert for the family. For like Grandma and Grandpa and you and your spouse, and maybe they will have a friend over or 2, and you can have a little concert in your house. Wouldn't that be fun, right? And they'll be engaged in that. They'll be like, a lot of kids will want to show what they've been doing. Some won't. Some are very private. I was maybe a little more private than others, so that might have not appealed to me. Yes. Lego. Do you have a kid that loves Lego? This is sort of fun. Now, you kind of want to have them all the same. I have some different ones here. But this can track during the week their progress. So if they have 3 songs, each time that they have the song, they can add another Lego block. So in one practice session, they would have 15, right? If they're doing 5 times each song. So they would have 5 of these, or 3 of these, right? Piled on top of each other, right? And they do that for 5 days. They're going to have 75 of these that they can build a tower. And it's kind of fun to watch it grow, right? Look at all the work I'm doing. The kids love that. They really love to see things grow. And you can look around their house for other toys that might work. Here's one that I have that was left over from my kids, and it has these rings. And I only have 5. There are 6 of them somewhere. I've lost one. But this is also a great way that when they, finish their song, I played my song, I put another one on, I finished my song. There goes another. Finished my song. Finished my song. And it's just a way of helping them track what they're doing, right? Another one would be Mr. Potato Head. You have a Mr. Potato Head hanging around. So you take off all his features and you add one at a time. Okay. So look around, be creative in your thinking as to what might encourage your child. Okay. So I think that covers just about everything. Perhaps you'll come up with some ideas on your own. I do often have ideas on the fly with my kids as to what we can do. If your child is like really kind of hyperactive, I guess, doesn't like to sit and wiggly, 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 have them play their one song 3 times and then have them run around the house. You know, I actually have a homeschool friend, a parent, that her son was so high-wired that they had to take 2 or 3 minutes or 10 minutes to teach him, and then they would send him outside, even in the winter, and he would throw his coat on and run around the house. And then he'd come back in and he could settle for another 10 minutes. And that's how they taught him. You know, so sometimes our kids need that. They need some sort of release. And gradually you will find these kids that are not very focused will gradually develop focus. For some, it takes a longer time, and for others, some parents are really amazed because a kid who is totally hyper, totally unfocused, will come to the piano, and they tell me after, I've never seen him sit for 30 minutes like that. And piano is just different, right? It's very engaging. We're doing stuff. We're playing on the keys. They don't have to be that, if they wiggle a little or whatever, it's fine. Sometimes you can have them practice in different positions, which is really hilarious and fun. It's not the best, but they're getting it done. They can play the song standing up. They could play the song maybe with their toes. Okay, well, they're not actually working with their fingers, but they're playing with their toes. They're finding the keys on the piano with their toes and trying to read at the same time and balance on the piano bench. How else could they play it? I don't know. They could lie down on the bench. They could try playing it backwards, just some silly stuff. When you're done your practice, encourage them to go back and play some of the songs they've already learned, because that really helps them solidify their skills. So what's your favorite song? Let's play 2 of your favorites from all the ones that you have learned so far. Okay, which ones were your favorites? And they play a favorite. Okay. So when your child comes back to their lesson and they've practiced, they're super proud of themselves. They're very happy with what they've done, and they really want to show me, and believe me, I try to be as encouraging as I can be in the lesson, all right? They get to see their progress through the 40-piece challenge, so know that when they finish 10 pieces, they do get a treat, a fairly good, substantial treat. And I can afford this because basically I get them at the dollar store. They're $1 each. It comes out of your studio fee that you pay at the beginning of the year. And most kids will finish 40 pieces in a year, maybe 50 if they're super keen. And, so that's like $5 of treats. And they have to do 10 songs. So it's my own little way of trying to encourage them. So we have other things that we do sometimes to track progress as well in the studio. So those are my things, but at home you can make it fun on a daily basis is my point. All right. So those are my suggestions, and I hope that this has helped you. I really look forward to working with your children. I enjoy teaching. I really do. And I love these kids. They're all very unique and special. And I learn from them as well. I've learned a lot over the years, and I've learned a lot of what works and what doesn't work. And I know one thing that does not work is to, tear down a kid. That just doesn't work. Not if you're wanting them to do something. So you can't tear them down. You have to build them up. You have to make them feel good about what they are doing well, and then we build on that. It's like building a Lego thing. Okay, so today you did this well. You showed up. You didn't practice, didn't do anything. Let's see what we can do. And then we do. I don't tell them that they didn't practice, but you're here, right? Yay for you. You came, in spite of not practicing. And then we add to that, and they start to play. And I say, oh, wow, you found middle C. Very good. Excellent job. Now, can you find other C's? Oh, you found all of your C's. And by the end of the lesson, we've got a whole buildup of positive things that they can take home and have go through their head that I've said to them that are positive. And in among that, there are a few. Do you think maybe you could hold the 2-beat note? Do you think maybe that you could curve your fingers? Do you think maybe? I think you can, So we try to approach it that way as best we can. And I think that's really important to keep things positive. I don't get angry with kids except for a couple of reasons, okay? And when I do get angry, I'm not yelling at them. I just very firmly tell them this is inappropriate. So one of the things is how they talk to me. If they speak rudely, then I will tell them that that is a rude way to speak to anyone. It doesn't matter who they are, whether they're an adult or whether they're another child. That is a rude way to speak, and you're not to speak to me that way. And I will speak to them just exactly like that. And I will tell them how they might have said it better, because they don't know. And they're maybe frustrated, and they're not really mad at me. They're just frustrated with themselves. But they need to know how to speak to other people when they are frustrated. And lying, telling me that they practiced when they didn't, and it's very obvious. I know. I try not to say, you're lying to me. I look at them and I say, I would much rather someone tell me the truth of what happened, whether they practiced or not. Then I can actually help you. And I said, when you don't tell me the truth of what's happened, then I can't trust you, right? And you need to trust me, and I need to trust you. And you need to tell me the truth of what's going on. And when that happens, we have a very good relationship. We can be very happy with each other and trust each other, right? So now I'm going to ask you again. Did you actually practice this week? What did you do to practice? And I'm very specific. How many days? How many repeats did you do? And it often comes out that it was 2 days and they did one time through. That's not practicing. I have to tell them that. I'll be honest with them, but gentle and kind. Okay, so if they are blatantly, no, I'm not going to do that. Like that with me, this is a case that I usually take the child out to parent and say, look, needs a little attitude readjustment here, because he's not willing to work, he's not willing to do it. No. And I do get that. Occasionally, I do get that. If it's a no, I'm not doing it, then I try to cajole them into doing it. Sometimes I let it go the first couple of times. But I'll come back to the same thing again and get them to do it again. No, I don't want to play that piece. Why? Well, it's too hard. Have you tried it? No. I'm not going to do it. Well, the thing is that we do have to do harder pieces. Otherwise, we're not going to learn. And you have to come in here with a teachable spirit, someone who's willing to learn and willing to do. And so then that's a teaching moment. So those are some of the things where I get a little more serious. I'm not so funny anymore. But I don't yell at them. I don't hit them. I don't do anything like that. That's not going to be fruitful for learning. It doesn't set up a good relationship between the child and me. And I think in saying all that, I'm trying to tell you the same thing. You know, if your practice sessions become a battle of wills and it's just not going well, sometimes we have to think about whether it's really worth continuing, right? But for the most part, this stuff works. It really helps, okay? So I hope this helps you. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope your child looks forward to lessons every week and coming to see me and showing me all the things they can do on the piano. All right? Encourage them to play around after their lesson. Just boom, 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 make up songs, whatever. It's fun. I used to do that all the time. Okay? All right. See you when you come for your lesson.